So no one is there. No one is there. No one is there. Yeah. Hello everyone. Sorry. Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Well, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to go for a very special topic, that is on physical India. Now, I'll take a different path to make you explain about this. Basically, whenever we talk about physical India, what we want to talk is basically the Himalaya range. As you know, this is a part of what? This is a part of lithosphere. Now when we go to the basics, if you remember the last class, I was talking about the component of Earth, where the components of Earth are lithosphere, hydrosphere, as well as atmosphere. So lithosphere is what? Lithosphere is nothing but the part of the land, that is your mountains, plateaus, plains and deltas. Coming to hydrosphere, just give us 2 minutes. We'll eliminate the news. Since there are some news, just give us 2 minutes. We'll correct it and get back to you. Fine?
Connect to that system. No, again we can't because streaming will. Your audio will come if you keep that closer to your mouth. Like this. That is enough. Even this also is enough, it will catch. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Okay, we have just corrected. So can you tell, still you are feeling echo? Biswajit, Ravi, Jayant Babu, Hilary? Noise is clear, the sound is clear? Biswajit, Ravi, Jayant Babu, Dev Dashu? Can you respond me? Okay, fine. So we'll start. As I was telling, today we are going to study what? Today we are going to study physical India, right? Now when we go for physical India, few things To understand, let us go back to the little bit of basic which we have done in the last class, that our Earth, last time we were discussing on solar system, and in the solar system the very important thing and the very important planet to remember is Venus. Venus is one of the planet which is not only the hottest, but it is also called as the morning and evening star. That is Venus, right? Morning and evening star. Whereas one more planet that is very important other than Earth, it is Mars, which is called as the red planet. Other stuffs like the number of planets, who have the highest number of planets, important satellites of Mars, important satellites of Saturn and Uranus already have been discussed over the last class. And in the end of the class, last time we were discussing on the components of Earth. When we discuss about the components of Earth, it is lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, right? Anyway, I'll just go for a bit of revision so that it will be very clear to you guys. So what we have discussed last time is the components of Earth. Components of Earth. What are they? First is lithosphere. It should be printed on your mind, that's why I'm doing the revision again. It should be lithosphere, hydrosphere, as well as atmosphere. Lithosphere, these are nothing but the Earth's inland forms, that is mountains, plateaus, plains and deltas. So these are the basic lands, and these lands are nothing but the land part of the surface, or the surface part of the Earth is called as lithosphere. Whereas hydrosphere talks about, hydro means, the term hydro itself means hydro. It have derived from hydrogen, where water is what? Hydrogen and oxygen, right? Two hydrogen. Water is H2O. Two hydrogen, one oxygen. So from this hydro, this have been derived. So hydrosphere talks about the oceans, then the rivers, lakes, ponds. Here we are not going to discuss ponds because those are the localized body, whereas these three are very, very important. Coming to atmosphere, atmosphere, it have a layer. I'll start in the opposite way. Let us go by this. Say, this is the surface of the Earth where we live in. To 8 to 10 kilometers, it is troposphere. Then up to 50 kilometers, it is stratosphere. Then it is mesosphere, which is again extended till 80 to 100 kilometer. Then thermosphere, and the final one is exosphere. Basically, this part, our more concentration will be on this part, which is called as troposphere. Above troposphere, it is stratosphere, where basically the flying objects flies. It is understood that in this region of stratosphere, there are no clouds or very less clouds. So it helps the pilot to navigate easily on a clear sky. Troposphere is why troposphere is more important compared to this, because troposphere is the area, this is basically the area which is the most suitable place for living organism. Why? Because living organism, why it is suitable? This is suitable because of the biosphere. That is what biosphere means. I'll explain you. Biosphere, if you go for the biosphere, like this is your lithosphere, this is your hydrosphere, and this is atmosphere. You can see this is the place, this is the common area for all these three, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. So this particular area is called as biosphere, basically where the place which is suitable for living bodies. Why? I'll explain this as well. Here, why it is important to understand that why biosphere is the most suitable to land. To understand this, let me go back to troposphere, which is extended to 8 to 10 kilometers. What is this layer? That is called troposphere. And the line which divides the troposphere and the stratosphere, the basic imaginary line, is called as tropopause. Tropopause. So we are not concerned about that as of now. Here I'll be discussing that why living organism it is most suitable place. This place is why suitable. This is basically the land. What happens is when the sun shines, as we know, it reaches the earth. How much time it takes to reach the earth? It takes 8 minutes to reach the earth. What happens is when the rays fall here on the land, I'll just change the color. When it falls on the land, few rays pierce through the soil, whereas few rays, what happens? It reflects back, correct or not? So because of this reflection, what happens? There will be an ozone layer here. There will be layers. Those are called ozone layer, which helps to trap the UV rays, that is the harmful rays which comes through the sun, as well as the carbon dioxide which is emitted by the earth. So point to be noted is carbon dioxide is trapped by the ozone layer which is emitted by the earth, whereas UV rays are the harmful rays. UV means ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet rays are the rays which are given by the sun, right? So what happens? Basically this ozone layer helps to trap these two phenomena which are not suitable for the human being to consume. So what happens? This rays of the sun which radiates back. What happens when it radiates back? Similarly, there will be many rays which will be radiating back. So because of this radiation, what happens? There is a moderate, there will be a moderate temperature. That is nothing but the temperature at which human beings are comfortable. You must be knowing that if you take an example, say take a sweet and put it in an almirah. What happens? After some time, if you close it, what happens? After some time, you will find that there are ants on that sweet. How the ants came? Ants never have arrived from a place, but probably they have been born at that place. So it is clearly understood Because of temperature, many living organisms are born and many die. When the sun rises in the morning, many organism life begins. When the sun sets, many life organisms life ends. Similarly, when the sun sets, many life organisms life begin, and when the sun rises, many life organisms ends their life. Right or not? That is the beauty of the nature. So the main purpose of this UV rays and carbon dioxide is obviously that's have a different phenomenon, but it is not suitable for humans to consume or any living bodies. So here, that for that reason, nature have been very gentle to the nature itself. Nature have been very gentle towards the living organisms, that nature have created ozone layers. Now this ozone layers not only trap this extra rays but also helps in preventing acid rains. Now what happened is, if you have remember few years back, Taj Mahal, the rain over Taj Mahal have turned the marble into yellow. That was because the rain was acid. It because the nature pollution and obviously because of global warming. Anyway, that's a different topic. We'll talk on that some other time. As of now, I'll keep to the topic. So here, what to understand is, if the question is asked, which is a moderate reason for the living organisms to stay, that is troposphere, which extends to 8 to 10 kilometers. Above it, this is the stratosphere, where basically the flying objects fly. Right? So this was all about atmosphere. When I come to hydrosphere, what thing you have to understand over here is oceans. If you go to the oceans, what are the oceans? Oceans are Pacific Ocean, then Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Antarctic as well as Arctic Ocean. What is that? Say for example, this is a world. Just pardon for the diagram, this is only to make you understand. See, what I am trying to make is the world diagram. This is North America, this is South America, this is Greenland, this is Europe, this is Africa, this is Asia, this is India basically, and this is Australia. This is Antarctica, and this is Arctic. So Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is here as well as here. Atlantic will be between the North and South America, borders of South America, Atlantic. Here this is Indian Ocean. Here this is Antarctic. And here this is Arctic. So basically, if you see the oceans, those are the very basic oceans. Above this Pacific, Atlantic and Indians are the most asked questions over competitive exams. Questions may be asked, which is the deepest? Deepest, what happened? No, over when we come to the mountains, I'll come to that later. As of now, just understand oceans are nothing but the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Antarctic and Arctic oceans. Arctic and Antarctic, it is very simple to understand because in the south it is Atlantic, whereas in the north it is Arctic. So obviously the northern part is, the northernmost part is the Arctic one. So the ocean touching the Arctic is Arctic Ocean, whereas in the south it is Atlantic. So the ocean touching Atlantic will be Atlantic Ocean. Here on the left and on the right, that is on the extreme sides, that is Pacific Oceans, India is the only country on whose name the ocean on the south is named as Indian Ocean. And Atlantic Ocean is the ocean which is between North South America on the left, and on the right it is Europe and Africa. If you see here, North and South are connected with a very narrow zone, that is also called as Isthmus, which I will be talking on the next classes. Earth and Africa, if you see this Africa, Europe, if you see this Europe, E is for Europe, three sides are open to ocean as well as one side is closed. But Africa is the only nation where maximum parts or the maximum borders are exposed to the ocean. This all blank white spaces are nothing but oceans. If I assume this as a earth, then all the white portions except the boundaries, except inside the boundaries, outside the boundaries are nothing but the oceans. I hope it is clear on oceans. So now this was about ocean. Similarly, we'll go to rivers. Now, when it comes to river, obviously, few important rivers you need to understand from both the angles. That is, on the world as well as in India. When we talk rivers of world, what comes is Amazon River, Nile River, correct? This is the why these are famous, because Amazon is the largest in the world, whereas Nile is the longest. Similarly, when it comes to India, there are many things. Actually, thing is we have to understand more of geography on India, because when you see the competitive exams, maximum questions will be from the Indian geography rather than from the world geography. So anyway, I'll take a separate class on the world geography and all, but as of now I'll keep it on the topic. So these are the famous rivers of the world. That is Amazon River, which is the largest river, Nile River, which is the longest. Coming to India, we have very famous river, that is Ganga. Then we have Godavari. Now, why both I have written together? Though there are so many other rivers like Yamuna. Then there are Son. Then there is Gomti. Then Ken, Krishna. Then it is your Narmada and Tapti. Then comes Krishna, Kaveri, and many. And of course Brahmaputra. Out of all, Ganga and Brahmaputra, the maximum question are based from Ganga and Brahmaputra. Ganga river is the longest river in India, whereas Godavari is longest in the south. That is what it is called as South Ganga or Southern Ganga. Brahmaputra is the river which crosses many countries, starting from Tibet. It enters to India through Arunachal Pradesh and then to Bangladesh and falls to Bay of Bengal. Now before it falls to Bay of Bengal, it forms a what? Delta, right? That is the most fertile land. Where it is in, that is nothing but in the borders of West Bengal as well as Bangladesh. The delta is also called as Sundarbans. That is formed by both Brahmaputra as well as Ganga before it falls to Bay of Bengal, right? So these are the few things you have to keep in mind while studying for a competitive exam. So this is the best, smartest way to go and understand geography rather than studying detail tit by tit. Because when you are preparing for a civil services, then it's understood. Otherwise, it will consume a lot of time. Now coming to legs. Coming to legs. Here, what are the important legs to understand is two type of lakes. One is fresh water lake and the other is saline lake. When it goes to world, the most freshwater lake you will find is Lake Superior, that is on world, whereas in India you will find the Ula lake. Here in saline you will find Chilka Lake, and it is also the largest lake in India, right? Then comes ponds. Those are the local bodies, you don't have to remember those stuff. Now coming back to lithosphere. Here you can see there are mountains, plateaus, plain and delta. To understand this, let us understand what are actually mountains. Mountains are nothing but the steep bodies which are formed by lands. Say, for example, I take a land. This is the land. Now what happens when there is a crack in the land because of, like earth, it always, underneath all earth, the bodies always keep moving. So because of that movement, there are disruption and there are chances that there will be creation of cracks. And because of this crack, what happened? This one side goes up, it's not necessarily the left goes out, it can be the right. And this as well comes out. So what happened? Together if you see, the land which was this have converted to